Hello and welcome to Mr. Game Review Show. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, hit the like button and put a comment below the video. Thank you so much. Cheetah, Wild Quest is a platform video game released in 1993 for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System SNES. It was developed by Coneco and is the second game to feature the mascot Cheetah, following Cheetah, Too Cool to Fool. The plot of Cheetah, Wild Quest is simple and straightforward. Cheetah embarks on a cross-country quest to recover pieces of a treasure map that was torn apart by his nemesis, Mean Eugene. The game is set across various U.S. cities, which provide a backdrop for the different levels. The premise fits well within the light-hearted, cartoonish world of Cheetah. The gameplay is standard for a 2D platformer. Chester can jump, dash, and use various items found throughout the levels. The controls are responsive enough, but they lack the precision seen in top-tier platformers of the era like Super Mario World or Sonic the Hedgehog. Chester's movement can feel slightly slippery at times, making some sections more frustrating than they need to be. The levels themselves are varied, ranging from cityscapes to forests and deserts, each with unique enemies and obstacles. However, the level design often lacks creativity and can feel repetitive after a while. The game's difficulty is moderate, with some challenging sections, though experienced players might find it too easy. Visually, Cheetah, Wild Quest is vibrant and colorful, staying true to the character's cartoon roots. The sprite work for Chester and other characters is well done, capturing the playful, laid-back attitude of the mascot. However, the backgrounds and environments, while colorful, are not particularly detailed and can feel bland compared to other SNES games. The music and sound effects are decent but not particularly memorable. The soundtrack fits the game's upbeat tone, but the tunes are repetitive and lack the catchy hooks that made other platformer soundtracks iconic. The game offers little in terms of replay value. Once you've completed the game, there isn't much incentive to go back unless you're a big fan of Cheetah or you enjoy 2D platformers from the era. There are no additional modes or secrets that significantly extend the game's life. Cheetah, Wild Quest is a competent, if unremarkable, platformer. It's enjoyable enough for a playthrough, especially for fans of mascot-driven games or those with a nostalgic connection to Cheetah. However, it doesn't do much to stand out in the crowded field of 16-bit platformers. The game's charm lies in its light-hearted approach and its association with the popular Cheetos mascot, but it lacks the depth, innovation, and polish that characterize the best games of its genre on the SNES. Cheetah, Wild Quest has a total of 10 levels. Each level represents a different location in the United States, where Chester must navigate through various obstacles, defeat enemies, and collect pieces of a treasure map to progress in his quest. The levels offer a variety of environments, including cityscapes, forests, and deserts. Cheetah, Wild Quest includes boss fights. At the end of certain levels, Chester faces off against a boss character. These boss fights typically require the player to learn and exploit the boss's attack patterns to defeat them. The final boss of the game is Chester's nemesis, Mean Eugene, who must be defeated to complete the quest and recover the full treasure map. The boss fights add a bit of variety and challenge to the game, though they aren't particularly complex compared to boss fights in other platformers from the era. If you have fond memories of the 16-bit era or you grew up with Cheetah as a mascot, the game can be a fun, nostalgic trip.